Welcome back to CasualBiasRugby, round 4 of the URC prediction time. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that have been helping the channel grow. I reached 7,000 subscribers and I didn't even thank you guys, and I just want to say thank you for helping this little community grow. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Even the previous video, I asked you guys to come into the comment section and chat. I want you guys to come into this one as well. Tell me your predictions, tell me your score margins. If you want to, go on to Saffas Unscripted. That's obviously my other podcast that I run. There's a link there for our Super Brew, if you want to join all of us to join into the Super Brew League, where you do your predictions and everything. There's no prizes or anything, but it's just a bit of fun, you know, for all of us to come together as a rugby community, because that's obviously what we are here to do. We are here to grow the sport, chat about the sport that we love. Anyway, we'll get into round 4 predictions, and obviously this last weekend felt quite easy. We got the clean sweep, but this weekend feels a bit more tough to call. It does. Anyway, let's start off with our Friday game. We have, and do remember to like and subscribe and go to the socials above. Anyway, first up, starting off with another Friday night game. Glasgow seems like they're playing every single Friday. I actually thought we might see Edinburgh playing against the Stormers this Friday as well. But anyway, we've got Glasgow taking on Zebra. They've been looking good. Glasgow have been looking good. They've been looking clinical. Obviously, they'll probably want to pick up a bit in terms of defence, leaking a couple of points here and there. But overall, they've been so good. And who's the coach of Glasgow? The South African. I can't even remember. But he has taken this Glasgow team and made them absolutely wonderful. Like, it's crazy. Zebra, on the other hand, obviously they had a good performance against Munster, got the victory, record-breaking stuff, and then kind of just didn't pitch up for their home game against the Stormers. And even though the Stormers were good, I just think that Zebra didn't offer any threat. And I mean, travelling to Glasgow, we know the record at Glasgow, like their winning record there is absolutely insane. It's a fortress to go there. So I'm going with Glasgow to get the victory. I'm going with Glasgow to get a victory of about 25 points. I think it's an absolute beatdown, maybe even more than 25 points. Unless Zebra just pitches up and makes it a bit closer, maybe a 15-point thing. But I'm going Glasgow between 25 to 30 points. It's not even disrespectful towards Zebra. I just think Glasgow is that good, and that good at home especially. Anyway, moving on to our Saturday games. Cardiff taking on Scarlet. Lovely little derby there. I'm going to go Cardiff. I've been impressed with Cardiff for quite a while. I've actually been impressed with Scarlets this season as well. They haven't looked too bad. I mean, good performance against Benetton with that comeback victory. I think they looked good against Connacht. Obviously lost it at the death. Did they play Glasgow last weekend? I can't even remember. I did a review video on Monday, but I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, the Scarlets have been pretty good. Or was it Cardiff that actually played Glasgow? I can't remember. I think it's Cardiff. I think it's Cardiff that played Glasgow this weekend. But I've been impressed with Cardiff. I do think it's a close game. You know, when it comes to derbies, form goes right out the window, and it's usually just a spectacle to watch. But I'm going with Cardiff to get the victory. But I do believe it's going to be a close game. I can't see Scarlets losing by much. You don't ever see Cardiff losing by much. You don't see them winning by much. So I'm going to go with Cardiff to get a 5-point victory. 5 points to Cardiff. Anyway, moving on to Benetton versus the Sharks. Benetton's not been at the races. I think it's a good thing for them to play home. But I think the Sharks will take a lot of confidence from that Dragons performance, which, especially after the Dragons, they don't look bad at the moment. They don't look like a bad team. I'm going with the Sharks to get the victory. They have put out a very strong side. You know that backline is absolutely on fire at the moment. You've still got Siamasuku. You've still got Andre Esterhuizen, Ethan Hooker, Jorenzo Julius, Jordan Hendricks that can slot it from about 80 meters out. I do think that Benetton, they do have a lot to play for. Maybe that home ground advantage can push them over the line. I do think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Sharks will just be a tad too strong for this Benetton defense. That attack of the Sharks looks absolutely brutal. So I'm going with the Sharks to kind of sneak over the line by about 8 points. I do think they'll beat Benetton more comfortably than the Dragons. Just my opinion though. Anyway, Edinburgh versus the Stormers. I'm not going to lie, Edinburgh is due for a big performance. And I said it last week, and when it's like, it always feels like it happens against your team. Traveling back home after two bad victories, the Bulls were not as bad, but it feels bad because they would have thought maybe we should have won that game, and then got smashed by the Lions. Obviously, a lot better second half performance, but the Lions probably just went laying down. They knew they had their 5 points in the bag. I'm gonna back my boys. Always back your team. Back your team. But we are going to crawl over the line. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you get tackled right in front, and it's like the stretch of the stretch gets you over the line. So I'm going to go with the Stormers to win this game by 2 points. I'm really excited to see our boys play. We know we have this attacking backline. We saw the damage that could be done against Edinburgh. I don't think their defence is great. It looked terrible against Leinster. Made a lot of mistakes. It looked terrible against the Lions. The Lions literally just ran riot. But then again, like the Lions attack is something to behold. Like, it's out of this world. And then I thought they were pretty good against the Bulls, you know. So I'm not going to lie, I'm very nervous. I think the neutral person could probably back Edinburgh, especially if you know the record of the Stormers travelling. Like, we are terrible when we travel. Lost to Ospreys, beat Zebra now. Edinburgh is another monster when they play at home. That little 8,000 people that sound like about 50,000. I think the Edinburgh crowd will probably be roaring out there. You know, it sounds loud out there when it's like this little cramped stadium. But I'm going to back the boys. I'm going to back the boys by about 2 to 3 points at the death. Maybe just clutch it. But yeah, hopefully we smash them. But I mean, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Edinburgh. I do believe they are a good team. Next up, Leinster versus Munster. Massive W for Rugby. Massive victory for Rugby. When you look at it, playing at Croke Park, 82 to 83,000 people, stacked out stadium. It's a derby, and that is why I made that video yesterday where I was like, Rugby is in like the golden generation. This is the golden generation of rugby. If you look at franchise rugby, you look at international rugby. I mean, credit to Ireland. Like, I banter them a lot, but out of respect, because they're a great team. But to have a franchise game of 82 to 83,000 people, that is great for rugby, especially when it's two franchises from one country. So about 6 million people having nearly 100,000 stacked out crowd. Absolutely beautiful. That is what we want to see from rugby. So I'm going with Leinster to get the victory. But overall, I just want to see that game as a spectacle. We saw it last year, or not last year, we saw it at the start of the year with the Investec Champions Cup, where Leinster took on Northampton Saints, stacked out Croke Park. It looked lively, it looked absolutely crazy. And I'm expecting to see it the same, even more lively, because now it's a rivalry as well. So beautiful to see. I'm going with Leinster to get the victory. I'm going Leinster by 7 points, because you know when Munster plays Leinster, once again, form goes out of the window when it's a derby like this. So Leinster to put up a performance and get 7 points, but I think it's going to be an absolutely scintillating game. Excited to see RG Snyman. And obviously we're going to see the big boys of Leinster playing again. So, you know, Ospreys versus the Bulls. Ospreys tough at home, but Bulls travelling. I set out the standard at the start of the season. I spoke about it on Saffas Unscripted, where it's the Bulls. They are known as Altitude Rugby Club. It's time for them to kind of get that little voodoo off their back, that little annoying voice that say you can only do it at home. Time to get it off their back. I'm going with the Bulls to get the victory against the Ospreys. I think they're physically strong enough. They've got the strongest team that they possibly can on tour. And you look at that performance they put up against Ulster, they should get the job done. In my opinion, at least. Ospreys not a bad team. We saw them crumble against Munster last weekend. So the Bulls have to get it done. It would be a massive victory for them in terms of a confidence booster while they're on the road, get the points that they need. So I'm going with the Bulls to get the victory. 10 points. 10 points to the Bulls. Then obviously you've got Ulster versus Connacht, another Irish derby. Ulster at home. I'm going with Ulster to bounce back. I think they need to bounce back. They obviously beat the defending champions. Glasgow, but it doesn't help. You just have one victory and then you kind of just drop off a bit. I have been impressed by Connacht, but I think this is one of those situations where the home ground advantage plays a massive role. So I'm going with Connacht with Ulster to get the victory. Close game once again, 5 points in it. All these games are so close. Like, I mean, I put up these predictions, but then it's like I expect you to kind of disagree with at least almost 50% of it, because it is so close. It can go either way. But yeah, Ulster to get it done, 5 points. And then Dragons versus the Lions. I have been impressed by the Dragons, but I've been more impressed by the Lions. They've been looking so good. And if they can take what they do at home, play that type of rugby, away from home even, they are a tough team to beat. And I don't even think it's just like the weather conditions. Obviously, it was extremely hot playing against Edinburgh. But you just looked at the class, the flair, the physicality. Like, everything about the Lions is just flowing so beautifully at the moment, and I think we might see a dominant performance once again. The Lions will come out there to put out a statement performance. I'm going with the Lions to win this game by 13 points. This is not disrespectful towards the Dragons. I'm guessing that we South Africans get the away clean sweep once again, 2 weekends in a row. So we got a home clean. No, we didn't get a home clean sweep because obviously the Stormers are still travelling. But yeah, I'm going with the clean sweep, full away clean sweep, which would be massive for us. That's what we want to see. Anyway, please do remember to like and subscribe. I do appreciate you guys. Tell me what you guys think. As I said, predict the games in the comment section. Let's have a chat about it. Anyway, thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.